Hello, gorgeous, wonderful, lovely Starseeds. It's Alexander Quinn, and if you thought last year was interesting, just wait till this year. Please go and check out my Telegram channel. The link is below because that's where you're going to be able to get all the extra detail that you can't get here. I'll see you there. Really, this video should be called not a predictions video, but what is in the potential field of the collective of Earth at this moment in time. I'm going to be looking at some of the astrology. I've actually done some automatic handwriting that I've got from my guides. The Arcturians also came through with huge message, so I will put that out as a video for next week. It's not wishy-washy spiritual stuff. This is actually very directed information. People, places, things, names, and it's got some very specific detail, especially about technologies and things that are going to be coming up. So I'll put that out next week as a video for next week. And I will read it out on a piece of paper. I've also done readings on where the Starseeds and the light workers are going to be this year. The ones that are already awakened and the ones that are waking up, and they are in very different journeys this year, so I will be looking through that. I've also done a reading, a tarot reading, a card reading on the war going on at this moment in time, so I will be showing you the cards on that, and I'm going to be talking through a whole load of things. So this video is going to go quite quick. I don't want it to be fluffy bunny stuff. I want it to just give you the information as quickly as I can and get through it without wasting any time. So let's look at the first thing. An enormous theme of 2023 is really going to be, did you take stock of the system breaker that happened between 2020 and 2022? Did you take stock of spiritually the system breaker that happened in your life when you were being asked to stop what you were doing and reevaluate everything? Because if you are not, and if you are not living and working now in your authenticity and your passions and desires, a lot of starseeds and light workers are going to start looping, and they're going to start falling back into recessive 3D ideas, mentalities, hell loops and frequency matrices, and it's going to be difficult. Now, this year really is the time to start living in your authenticity and saying, I wanted to start a business. Now's the time to do it. If you look at some of the astrology with Pluto in the transit into Aquarius, some of these themes are going to be playing out for decades now. So we can't get away from it. It's really, really important to, what do you want to do with your life? You've got to think now. If I don't come back to Earth, and I choose not to come back to Earth, even though this is the payoff lifetime, and I came here for a purpose, am I really living my highest timeline? What have you got to lose? It's really, really important. Going forward, this year is a number 7 year. Number 7 emphasizes introspection, emotion, analysis, intuition, more reflection, seclusion, research, and having a new sense of faith. It's about going inside even deeper. And K2 is transiting in Vedic astrology this year. That's all about linked to, finally mastering elements of the shadow self that you didn't think you could look at. And it's generally said that the end of the karmic cycle is K2, hence the beginning of Rahu. And K2 brings lots of reflective thoughts and deep analysis when you look at Vedic astrology. What is the 16th card of the tarot deck? Well, if you look at 1 and 6, it's 7 again, and the 16th card of the tarot deck is the Tower. So if we're not working on our urges and the synchronicities that our guides are constantly giving us, we're going to be having Tower card moments with everything falling down. So it really, really is more important this year, more than any year, to start taking some chances. If you want to start a spiritual business, go for it, do it. If you're still in that job that you hate, it will get energetically and vibrationally worse. It's time to break these cycles. This year, you're also going to see a huge amount of soul contracts coming to an end, and you're going to see a lot of celebrities leaving. You're also going to see a lot of animals coming close to extinction and actually coming into extinction. And I know that's very, very difficult for a lot of the Earth seeds because they love the animals, and so do I. I love Gaia. But moving into a high frequency broadband range, into an ascended planet, an ascended planet will have new animals, new plants, new humans. Everything will be new. And it is difficult to let go of everything we've already had. I completely understand that. Also, if you have ever read my book and you've got a copy of it, There was an Arcturian message that I channeled 5 years ago that I put in there, and they were talking about new animals will be coming in. Some of the old ones will be fading out, and you're going to be seeing more animals coming up for extinction or getting close to extinction. And with the humans as well, a lot of soul contracts coming up for completion. So there's going to be a lot of new souls coming in and then a lot coming out. Some of them will be your heroes. Some of them will be people that in music you loved. So there will be some sadness there, but the new has to be, old has to go out, and the new has to come in. There has to be a wave effect. Sun activity is only going to increase this year. So we need to take more care of our cardiovascular systems, the heart, the area around here, as more gamma and more photonic light hits us, because it can cause underlying cardiovascular issues to become a little bit more prevalent. So we need to be more careful about what we're eating. The heart. We're going to be becoming a lot more health conscious this year, because as the photonic light comes in, it's going to start purifying anything on a cellular level that should not be there. That means we need to be much more careful of our addictions, what we're putting into the body. Anything on a cellular level or some atomic level that is, from a pharmaceutical point of view, not good for you. The body is going to start reacting much more violently to it. There will be other symptoms coming in as well that will increase. This includes symptoms of the vestibular system, and other imbalances that may occur if we're not looking after ourselves, like dizziness, feeling off balance, feeling as if you are floating away or the world is spinning, blurred vision, disorientation, falling or stumbling. I would also like to bring to the attention that increasingly, if we're not grounding, if we're not being careful, if we're putting the wrong things into our body, if we're very, very stressed out, there will be a slight increase in people having seizures. That's when too much energy is hitting the body. Your nervous system is all very, very stressed out as well, and we're putting the wrong foods in, and we need to be careful of that. Personally, I recommend, there is something in the UK called Floridix. It's liquid mineral magnesium. Chamomile tea is great, mixed with valerian root. And I'm going to say something the spiritual community will absolutely probably say that I'm wrong, and people will go mad in the comment section about, but CBD does help because it does also calm down the nervous system. So it's really, really important. And I also just want to add one thing, that when I spend a week working with clients and my crown chakra is exploding, I get that very, very buzzy feeling. That's very, very intense, and I start feeling dizzy. And then I close conduit at the end of the week, and I start shutting down. I ground my energies off. I put it back into Gaia, and I'm much more accountable for my own personal energy vibrationally than I ever been in my whole life. And people are going to have to really start seriously adopting this mentality going into 2003, because you've got to be accountable for your own personal energy for the first time. And this is all about the purification, but about spiritually becoming an adult for the first time. I don't claim to be a financial expert, but what I do understand is that banks are going to try and centralize a lot of the crypto, and it's going to have very mixed results. And this year it's going to seem a little bit like it's going in the wrong direction. So that's all I will say on that for time being, but this will be coming up in the news quite a lot. The people of Earth will increasingly start becoming disillusioned with governing bodies, which will create a feeling of wanting to reclaim power back, not only in the public domain but in the workspace. And there will be many more strikes and resignations, and people's voices will become more important as hierarchical systems and those systems begin to crash. And you will see more people wanting to take control of their lives, starting their own businesses more than ever before. When you look at what happened during the pandemic, they still call it the Great Resignation years, because more people than ever left their jobs. And I urge you to look into that. Start thinking about what you really want to do with your life going into these high energies. Do you really want to be doing the same things that you were doing prior to 2012 in those low dense energies? That probably won't work as well in these higher energies. When you're living in your authenticity and we're getting close to instantaneous in terms of manifestation, the wind will truly be in your sails. So don't be afraid to take those chances. You will manifest in half or quarter the time. You just got to take the chance and have the faith. Spirit is holding your hand, I promise. As we are changing genetically from the inside out, Gaia is also restructuring herself. Eventually, what I predict when I look into a very, very long time in the future, is that all the land masses will eventually begin to go back into alignment and come back as one, because they were separated before. And as we go back, all the land masses will eventually start to go back into one. All of the chakras of all the chakra areas, which are all dotted all over the earth, will eventually also go back into alignment, just like they are with the spinal column. But what we are getting now is more earthquakes. We'll be having more earthquakes, more volcanoes, more severe weather occurrences happening, more fires. But the tectonic plates are shifting, so you will get more earthquakes because Gaia is now recalibrating herself, and flooding will increase. Not only this year, but going forward in general. Water around the earth is also going to shift a lot. The Pleiadians talk about this. In an old system, in an old electromagnetic matrix, in an old gravitational field, water fell and congregated in different places. Water is now going to start moving. But so flooding will go up. And I think it's no coincidence that the Chinese are saying that this is the year of the water rabbit. Maybe the Chinese have got something to, something that they're not telling us they know more about. Now, I feel very comfortable saying this because the ETs is my personal place of expertise. Not that I ever wanted it to be, but the ETs came into my life. And disclosure. Everyone's saying disclosure will happen this year. No, it won't. What will happen is more ships will be present in the skies and more people will see them, and the people will be the disclosure. It will not happen from any governing body because it can't, because it's the people that will give disclosure to the governing bodies. It will be the other way round. So disclosure in the format that people would like it to happen will not happen this year. And I asked my Arcturians about that. But what they did say is that as the frequencies are around Earth and in Earth's ionosphere change and of Gaia changes, they will be appearing more and more and more, and it will become undeniable that we are not alone, because there will be ships appearing on a regular basis more this year as well. And we don't need to worry about disclosure. We don't need to prove to the governments don't need to prove to anyone or disprove that we're not alone in the universe, because it's irrelevant. We are the disclosure. We are the ones that need to know. The governments are now almost irrelevant in this. What I would also like to do is take a quick look at the astrology, because the astrology this year is a wow moment, like nothing we've had in a long time. So let's dissect and look what's actually happening here. Jupiter, Saturn and Pluto are all changing signs. Great on a multi-dimensional level, but hard on a 3D level, because it's going to shift everything that's not in your highest timelines. Because if you are still holding space in your highest timeline, that's going to be great for you. But if you're not, it's going to feel like you're going around in a washing machine. Pluto transit into Aquarius is going to be a 22-year transit. So a lot of these themes are going to be going on for a long time. The question is, how long do you want to keep waiting and waiting? Now is the time for action. I put out something on my Telegram channel that as our brain, as all these gamma waves come in, we go up into the higher brain frequency waves, up into alpha, and then eventually gamma. So it gives us this heightened state that something's going to happen. And the starseeds are going into, oh God, something's going to happen. I'll keep waiting. Stop waiting. You got to stop waiting. You got action. You got to get into action now. What do I want to do with this year? What do I really want to do with my life? You've got to start pushing it through. You're a creator. And to some degree, you don't even need this predictions video, because actually you can create anything you want. I'm only just discussing things that are in the field at this moment in time. In 2023 to 2026, all the outer planets are also going to be changing signs. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. And this hasn't happened in about 300 years. So creativity, spirituality, and multiple forms of disclosures in terms of governing structures on Earth are going to be coming to light. And Saturn in Pisces is all about spiritual service. So there's going to be a lot of people starting spiritual businesses and getting into spiritual service in a way that they have never done before, even if it's a sideline or a side hustle. You're going to be seeing this, in a great way. You're going to be seeing a lot of public figures, celebrities, people who are supposedly part of the Matrix who are going, okay, actually, I believe in UFOs now, or actually, I believe in this thing, when they didn't before. And that's going to be very, very, very prevalent. What is also going to start happening this year for the first time in maybe 10,000 years is that you are going to start seeing a population decrease. Don't take it from me, take it from my guides where I do the automatic handwriting, and it will start in China. You will also start seeing a population decrease globally, but it will start in China. But also what you will start seeing is the missing children count starting to go down for the first time finally, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing. Okay, I sat down, connected with my guides, both ET, and I went to the Arcturians. The big Arcturian message that came through, that's actually very detailed, not wishy-washy at all. I'll put out next week. But a couple of galactic messages they wanted me to pass out. More civilizations, reptilian civilizations that are partly Orion or good reptilians, because there are good and bad people. And don't forget, there are reptilians in Andromeda. You get Andromedan reptilians. They want to put the story right. They want to give a different narrative from what we've been given, because it affects them as well. And they've been given permission from the Syrian High Council to do this. The next thing I was just going to read this as I automatically hand wrote it down, as I channeled it down straight away. The soil of Earth and its electromagnetic grids will be in a state so that should power systems fail, the Earth will then become like a giant electrical crystal, which can then be called upon. And I'm aware that Tesla was talking about technologies like this, but the Arcturians are coming forward and they are putting out details that this is going to become more prevalent, because not only energy from the great central sun, but also because of the ionosphere changing, and also because of where we are going through the photonic belt and lots of different things vibrationally in terms of quantum electromagnetic physics are going to allow for the grids of Earth, the crystalline grids of Earth, and that planet Earth will come like a giant electrical crystal that we can tap into should the power systems fail, especially if we get like a Carrington event from the sun. So there really is nothing to worry about. They've also said, and I will say this word for word, the secret in Switzerland, and some of the blocks that are linked to the good guys stopping the technology coming forward. They're talking about, I don't know if this is CERN, but there is a big secret in Switzerland. The good guys want to use it for their operations, what people call the white hats. They're struggling to put this technology forward to the people, because certain people want to weaponize it. So I'm guessing that is CERN. All I'm being directed to, the Arcturians are telling me, is Switzerland, and various energy devices which have yet to come out. They have also passed me the grass and the moss on planet Earth is genetically changing at a very rapid rate in order to keep up with the changing rapid change of pace in terms of emissions that are happening both naturally and human-made on Earth at this moment in time, to balance out the ecosystem. So I know that we think that if we don't do enough, that it's all going to come falling down. But Gaia is sentient. She knows what she's doing as well. And actually, she's further ahead of us than we think she is. And again, that was another message the Arcturians came through on. And the final bit of intel before I go into some readings, magnetism and devices, cars, watches, phones that run on pure magnetism, quantum magnetic technologies, and electrical devices. The Club of Rome know about this. There is an inventor in Italy that is holding the keys at this moment in time. He is in fear of his life. He wants these technologies to come out, but he's in hiding. I'm now going to move on to some readings. I want to talk about where the newly awakened starseeds are going to be and where the already awakened starseeds are going to be. energetically, and what their journeys look like. Now, for this reading, I'm not going to show you the cards. I will show you the cards on the reading on the war that's currently happening in Europe, but I won't show you the cards on this one because I use a different deck, and some people will look at the pictures and get confused and think that they understand what's going on. So I'm just going to give you a reading through what I'm seeing for the Starseeds in 2023 this year who are already awakened. I'm going to go through their energetic and vibratory trajectory, okay? So I'm looking at the reading now. So a lot of them have still not taken fully flight yet. They are still waiting. I've already said this in the video, but they are ready. They are still doing a lot of very deep, immense purging. My eyes are just going down to the reading, so I'm just going through it. They're still doing a lot of dense purging. Some of them are still in sorrow. They still have a lot of emotional pain coming up. And this is right now. They are more of them are going into silence in this now moment. Going through into that, they will be going more into the higher states of nothingness, the space between particles, the breath between breaths. A lot of the starseeds who are already awakened still need to release a lot of ethics, morality, politics, religion, man-made constructs, things they were taught in childhood. They've still got to get out of learned behaviors from the synapse of being brought up in a lower dimensional 3D timeline. They've still got to work through that and get rid of it. Now, what I see coming through with some of the awakened starseeds also is that there's guilt. They've got to release the guilt that's in their root and in their sacral chakras, because it is stopping them getting into their higher timelines. Also, what comes in for the awakened starseeds also is that many more of them are going onto the much higher timelines. So they're going onto the higher broadband frequency ranges, and they're also going to be coming onto the radar and purview of other beings, so on and so forth. So their trajectory looks like they go 2 steps forward and then a step back, 2 steps forward and then a step back. The awakened starseeds are going to actually have a more difficult journey in 2023. I'm not here to rob your ego. I'm not here to give you false light, and that's not my job. And I certainly never do that with clients either. I give the truth about what I'm seeing. The awakened starseeds do end up on an incredible trajectory. But it's almost like every time they hit a new hurdle of awakenment, they fall back a little bit, and there is some outside interference. They do start going more into free fall trust and breaking cycles and going into that rebel mode. But then after that, a lot of the starseeds towards the end or the middle or the end of this year, they start putting armor back up. So something happens on the earth plane that makes them stressed, and their armor goes back up, and they're in a stress state, and they're juggling a lot of things. But they do let go of it. So they do come out of it. So something happens on the earth plane. I don't know what that is. And then towards the end of this year, they hit the biggest levels of transformation, breakthroughs. And a lot of the starseeds towards the end of this year or in the last quarter of this year are in a state of celebration. There's a major breakthrough. So that is the trajectory I'm seeing for the awakened starseeds. Now I'm going to look at the ones who are just waking up this year. The ones that are just waking up this year, instead of going into seclusion like the Hermit card, they are going to be getting out and about a little bit more, unlike the ones who woke up previously who are going into hermit mode and going in. The starseeds that are waking up there, they're going to be out and about more, but they are going to be too in their brains because their central systems are going to be overloaded with too much information. So they're going to be too in the mind and not in the heart enough. They're going to be too in the ego and not in the higher self. But they will come out of that. They will move more into the heart, and their spirituality side will kick in. They will be turning in a lot more. They will be listening less to the external and their family and their friends and everything else. And they will be having more tower card moments, more things falling away. Whereas the awakened starseeds are not necessarily going to be having so many things falling away, but more energetic hurdles to overcome. It's not going to be 3D. It's going to be in the higher realms. Going forward, the starseeds that are waking up now will be coming full circle in many respects. They are also going to be letting out purging as well. That will come up. There will be density that will be coming up, and they will be sharing with their people who are immediately around them some of the things that they are coming into. they will be going full circle, and they will be coming into their authenticity. So it's going to be a slightly easier path for some of the star seeds that are just waking up than the ones that are already on the path, because the ones that are already on the path are going to have to hold a lot more light for the ones that are coming in, and that's why we came here. That's our job. We can do that. You know, we have the codes to do that. We are natural. So just allow it to happen. Surrender, surrender, surrender. And I tell you one thing from experience. The more I surrender into my observational neutrality, what the Arcturians are giving me and what's happening when I'm working with people, the more I'm in surrender, the faster your abilities and the path ahead of you will shine and click on, okay? Okay, I'm just going to have a quick look at the reading I did with the war that's going on in Europe at this moment in time. Okay, so just quickly looking at this reading on the war, what have we got here? We got the devil right in the center, crossed by the Six of Pentacles. So we've got Russia, or potentially the man, that begins with the P. And over the top, we've got predominantly the world, but predominantly America. You know, that's money coming in. That's some charitable money that's coming in, help that's coming in financially. You know, with the Seven of Pentacles on the right-hand side there, we know full well that Ukraine has had a very, very difficult time financially, and they've had to make some absolutely massive financial decisions. Now, with the Page of Pentacles over the top, crowning the whole reading, they are very, very robust. We've got them not only getting their agriculture back, but they're financially growing seeds. It's starting to grow back again this year. And actually, if you look at the Ten of Cups underneath in their bases, which is usually what they can't see, we're not looking at a Page of Cups. We're looking at the Ten of Cups. There is contentedness there underneath, and they can't see it because they are actually coming back into their superpower, which is their stoic Ukrainian ways. They're actually very, very strong. Going forward, with the Queen of Cups, they are much more heart-centered. They're out of the mind. It just goes to show what an incredible heartfelt nation they are. Now, with the Page of Swords down there, there's a lot of gossip, a lot of spiteful conversation. There's a war of words. It makes me believe that, there's a lot of things going on in the media that we're not being fully told, that there's things going on that we don't see, we don't hear, we don't have the whole picture going on there. The Nine of Wands in their current situation, what's around them at this moment in time, is they feel like they can't go on. It is very, very difficult. But the 9 always comes before the 10, which is completion. So they do complete. With the Empress in their hopes and fears, they're coming into a place where they do want that nurturing energy to come back in. They want their motherland back. They want, they don't want a 5D, necessarily 5D world. They want the material 3D world first back before they get into anything. But if you look at their final destination with the Three of Pentacles, that is an initial stage of completion in terms of their economy. That is parts of their financial state, their economy starting to come to fruition, and rewards starting to be reaped. So if you look at this reading as a whole, what I personally take from it is that the war is going to start coming to its last dying remnants probably in the last quarter of the year. As the aggressor starts to back out. So I would generally say this is a very positive reading. So these are my predictions, but really I don't like the word prediction. I just like to say what is in the field at this current moment in time. But it's really, really important that the energies are shifting and molding and so quick that the timelines can change. And really, what I want you to take away from this video is that you're a creator. You can make anything you want to happen this year, and you don't need a predictions video. I will be putting down the chapters down below this so you can navigate more easily. I'm Alexander Quinn, Starseed Navigating the Light. I am back with a vengeance. I'll be putting out regular videos, and next week I'll be putting out that very long, very detailed message from the Arcturians about various things that are going on with people, places, and things, and they name certain materials that are going to be coming in, and more. So I will see you shortly. Much love, God bless, and look forward to this year because it's going to be wonderful and it's going to be magic, but it's going to be you who makes it, not some solar flash or some external thing. It's going to be you, and you can do it. You got this. I love you. Bye-bye.